CTM. What is going on, everyone? I hope you're well and doing great. I'm feeling so much better. I just want to really to thank you all so much for all of the well wishes, the thoughts and the prayers. Really appreciate it. I hope that's a breakout, retest, and resumption underway. Definitely see the breakout. And now we're in for a retest. That retest could go significantly lower and still be valid yet. We are seeing, obviously, Bitcoin and crypto under pressure today. Why the NASDAQ leading continues here to, what's it now? 1.5%, 1.6% off the all-time high. And I know that, well, this is kind of the playbook that we're expecting in so much. And by the way, this is lagging. It's not lagging. It's so funny. This is, you're looking at monetary base total. And when I say it's lagging, the data is released a month later. So it's lagging. It doesn't give us any type of forward guidance, but it is obviously something that we know that calls the tops with precision. And you can see as liquidity went out over here, Bitcoin has been under pressure. I blame Powell for that. But we know that the balance sheet now is beginning to rise. And you can see it over here on this chart, the Fed balance sheet. This is the Fed cycle. A lot of people are confused. Is it the 4-year cycle? Is it the 4-5? Or is it the 4-5 global refinance cycle? No, it's the Fed cycle. It always has, and it always has been. And you can see over here, the balance sheet here starting to rise. And the last time that happened was back in this area over here. September 2019, balance sheet began to rise. And you can see over here, if we go back to September 2019, that's where monetary base bottomed out and where it's what we're looking for. Now, we know, or we believe that, well, we would like to see tech lead here. That would be a good sign. And last time, from the point they began rising, pumping the balance sheet, tech basically led and wound up melting up. it seems to me like there's a little bit of hesitation. And right now, as we begin the year, you know that this is generally very conducive for flow of funds, as a lot of people that had taken profits, tax loss harvested, put that money back to work. A lot of funds looking to play off the calendar, want to make sure that they get positioned as they'd like. But we do have the potential outlier here of Friday, the ruling from the Supreme Court on whether or not the Trump tariffs are legal or illegal. And that is some uncertainty that likely a lot of people are waiting to see what happens before putting capital at work. And I don't know whether or not we get that I see a lot of chatter on Friday we get the decision, but that might not be the case. It might not be until February. Um, right? I mean, I'm I feel well enough to speak it as such. Um, so what would happen though with the markets if all of a sudden they come out and that's really good. Let me review that with you. If anyone's interested in wondering, hold on one second. And let me just boom, 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 boom. Guys, yesterday I felt so bad. Today, sitting here this morning, where like this is the first time since Saturday and getting the food poisoning, and then I think it was like sprinkled with some flu on top, that I feel remotely like myself. Like this is the turning point to getting better, which is great because I want to be full throttle by Friday and Saturday and Sunday, doing what's necessary for the 12th, the January 12th release of V4. But today I can't imagine how yesterday we were able to go live. There's only one other time. I never told you all, but it was sometime during the COVID era. And I had like a raging fever. I remember anyway, there's only two times that really it was so bad. Yesterday was one of them. Here we are though. Um, where are we and where was I going? I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. So we're looking here at Nasdaq here, trying to test their all-time highs, 1.5% off. We would like to see tech lead for. Oh, I was trying to pull up the article about what happens if like the market's reaction, if the Supreme Court rules the tariffs are illegal. Right now, poly markets are placing a 78% probability the Supreme Court will rule them illegal. It could be a lot more nuanced than that. So hold on. We don't know whether or not the administration would immediately enact, we'll call them counter tariffs, like a counter plan, or what really their resources are. 301, 302, like, um, but at the end of the day, we don't know how the markets are going to react. We have no idea if they come out and a lot of people think they come out and they rule them illegal, markets are going to pump now. Well, it might be a lot more complicated by that. Where are they going to get the money to repay all of that, the tariff money? Markets don't like uncertainty. There is uncertainty ahead of us. I don't think that we're going to hear the ruling on Friday, but you should be prepared for it in case. And I think that our positioning right now seems to be really good. By the way, buy side boost, right? Taking full account allocation, just exiting the market on Bitcoin, locking in 2.7% of profit. Nice little start of the year. It's such a small little gain, and I know, and I think like 2025 was a really trying year, a really trying year. It was fire, when fortitude. It took a lot of, let's say, mental, I don't have the words here. Well, let me put this into context for you and with you. All right, let me start in two ways. So first of all, our positioning here, buy side boost, we're now completely neutral, right? Ahead of non-farm payroll on Friday, ahead of the potential ruling of Trump's tariffs on Friday. And here on stocks, we're also 100% into cash, which also feels really good. And by the way, those that are trading equities, there's a new twist here as we begin 2026, right? Tesla, Nvidia, and MicroStrategy, that they're playing buy side boost, right? With half of the capital of the account. The other half of the capital, FNGU, TQQQ, Spot Bitcoin ETF, they're just trading their own allocation without the buy side boost. It's going to be a little bit more capital efficient over here. Craig, I'm feeling good about coming off of this brutal few days because I know that means that as we get warmed up, begin crawling here, all of a sudden we're going to be running. Let such a hard one. Such a hard one. Oh, it's such a hard one. You could say things like risk favors the bold, and that's true. There's no doubt about it. However, risk favors the bold? No. Fortune favors the bold. Fortune favors the bold. And it's a great quote. It's inspirational. However, you could say smart, calculated returns. You know, you don't, once you learn or once you understand, you don't know what happens next. You're going to put yourself in a way better situation. Check this out. Let me highlight this and come back to this to show you one thing. And first I want to continue the story. So over here, we're looking at, you ever seen this chart I've showed with you before? And it talks about, by the way, I'm gonna have to slow down a little bit here. I'm gonna have to just slow down here. I haven't eaten really in a few days, and energy is weak. I just took some, and I probably should have done this yesterday. Chia seeds soaked in water for a couple hours, and I hope that's gonna be something that I could keep down. This is, and I'm focused on the U.S. over here, saying the longest periods of negative real equity returns in countries over the last, anyway, I asked Grok, the last 100 years, how many times has the stock market not made new all-time highs for at least 5 years? And it's only 2 times. Only 2 times. Granted, imagine planning for retirement in the roaring 20s and then all of a sudden getting smacked, like, talk about Mike Tyson punching you in the face, and that money doesn't recover. 25 years. Then you had the great dot-com bubble and 13 years for NASDAQ to make another new all-time high. I mean, that was a great decade, though. There was plenty of money to be made from 2000 through 2010, but it wasn't just buy and hold, right? And then he says, listen, there's only been a couple of periods, right? We had flat stagnant periods. Don't forget, I'm worried about stagflation ahead. Not now, but ahead. Right now we're muddling so far. Did not last 5 years. Talks about shorter recent gaps from 2020, 2024, went through a 2-year period. It doesn't happen that often, but if it happens going forward from where you are today until going like over the next 5 years, 10 years, it could set a lot of people back on their goals significantly. Being 100% in cash is a power move. You'll find out if and when there's a curveball thrown what preserving capital means. Because a lot of people are going to start asking their questions. How come no one ever told me to divest from my 401k, to get into cash, to get into some type of safety? Yeah, right? I've heard it so many times. Right now, though, when things are up and to the right, everyone's comfortable, right? I don't want you ever to be comfortable. or take anything for granted. I want you to make sure that you are methodical about what you do. Chia and yogurt sounds delicious. Do you soak them first though and get the gooey goop around them before putting them in the yogurt, or you just put them directly in the yogurt? Um, Same thing over here as we look at. I'm gonna kill it. I don't know, it's on X over here. Hold on. As we look at Bitcoin exiting the market here on 107, we're just out of the market. We're 100% in cash right now, ahead of what could be, if we do see any type of release on Friday from the Supreme Court, a very volatile period ahead. Looks good. It feels good. I wanted to show you, or I'll build on it. Let me just jump over and come over here. So let me find this. All right, so we got our positioning. The only thing I didn't cover with you, the difference between what V4 is currently doing, and look at this, a little bit of V2 action over here. We're looking at looking here at V4 looking to currently exit Bitcoin and out of profit, whereas 107, 101 able to lock in a nice little gain. And then on Solana is still in the market over here, holding a long trade, 2.9% into profit. Stocks not looking great. I mean, it's been a few days of the year. For us, it's been perfect. We're just completely on the sidelines. Tesla exiting position, small profit. I think that it's too soon to make any type of assessments at, well, I don't know. What do you mean by that, Michelle? You're looking here. I'll go to the last 3 days. So this is starting in 2026. The NASDAQ is definitely moving, right, in 2026. Here, I look at my personal picks for 2026. I mean, everything seems to have started off with gangbuster, right? And I mean, no movement here on the video. Mag 7 definitely holding back. I mean, there seems like a rotation going on from Mag 7. Amazon is doing all right. Tesla getting whacked off the Boston Dynamics, setting like some type of like a CGI video of their new humanoid robot. I don't know if that's noise or signal. Tesla looks pretty overbought though, right? And it's towards the top of its range over here. This is more of the long-term buy zone down in this area. So makes a little sense. Seeing it coming off right now. Yeah, I mean, to start the year, it looks okay. To start the year, it looks okay. But the new watch list is looking good. Overall, overall this portfolio would be up pretty nice. I mean, roughly 10% in a week, but that means nothing. That's all noise. Yeah, but since the start of the year, it's up magnificently. 23%, 20%. Anyway, this is 1 week. We got a long year ahead of us. It's the beginning of the year, and it's going to be exciting, one way or the other. For sure, Friday is a something to be aware of. Non-farm payroll is also on Friday. Look at the odds into the end of the year as far as where rates are going to be, and we could see that roughly there's an 80% chance we're going to see 75 basis points or more cuts into the end of the year. Right now, it is pretty, let's say, through June, through the new Fed chair, it looks like Powell is going to do his best to just pump the markets with liquidity, here, but not make any interest rate decisions at the moment. We'll find out. We'll see. So our awareness is that Bitcoin crypto might take a moment here to catch up. We want to see it. Is it possible that if the administration's tariffs get knocked down, that there's some market turmoil? I know a lot of people think that the markets are going to really accelerate up if that were to happen. Could we be and see something like a shakeout, 5 to 10%? I look, we're 100% in cash. That feels pretty smart. Expect everything and anything. I think this is what I wanted to show you. Let me jump back over here and come back over here, and this would be good. And let me do this. I think I'm missing something on my screen. Maybe I can't find it. Maybe I can. Well, here it is. I did. Let me start the year off with the appropriate Ed Secoda's P&L. Ed Secoda, one of the best market performances in the history of markets. And you could see over this decade, 1990 to 2000, the majority of the time that he spent in drawdown running sideways without making a new all-time high. You can see over here for years at a time. Years at a time. Years at a time. And let me go ahead and just input this in over here at the same time. This is what I wanted to share with you. And let me just restart this. Come on, don't fail me now. So I was just mentioning the turtles and Richard Dennis with you, I think yesterday, but maybe not. One of the core, this should hit home for you. This should be really important, and this what should be ingrained into your your mind right now. So please listen up. One of the core lessons from Richard Dennis, trend following work, was that a small number of trades generate the majority of the profits. Does that sound familiar? Because there's no way to know, does that sound familiar, which trades those will be in advance. The edge comes from taking every valid setup and allowing winners enough room to develop rather than cut them short for comfort. I don't even know what this part is. In both cases, the discipline was the same. Follow the process, respect risk, and let the market, not emotion, decide which trades would ultimately matter. This is very important here for 2025, right? The market shall give, the market shall take away. And if the market is not give it, there's nothing you can do but stay disciplined and follow. The template's not broken. You're going to see that momentum return. And when it does, you'll be there to capitalize. Now, the mistake comes from those who get comfortable. You have the doomer, and they haven't been participating in the upside. Why? Well, it seems all so risky out there, right? And then you have the metals guys. I believe break out above 50. I'm selling, right? I'm buying protection. I keep getting crushed, right? What about the Bitcoiners? What's going on with Bitcoin? I asked the question this morning, and I'll ask you right now. What do you think outperforms in the next 5 years? By the way, let's check in over here and jump over. And today we have silver under pressure, down 4%, still trading at $78. Gold at $44.50. What do you think outperforms over the next 5 years? Bitcoin, gold, or silver? It's a very, very important question. I would like for all of you to let me know what you think is going to happen. Oh, yeah. Oh no. We got a little. But guys, you didn't tell me that I had it up. Interesting. Bitcoin, top performer, next 5 years. Eh, we must have a delay, Ace. We're a little late. But we got it now. You guys, oh, you heard me speak it. You didn't get to see me highlighting as I was going. So Bitcoin outperform next 5 years. Who is it? You know I'm out of the loop here in a minute. Morgan Stanley getting ready to launch a Bitcoin ETF. Crazy, right? Bitcoin ETF has been live here for quite a while. The amount of money in their management is absolutely incredible. And they think that they could still get in and raise a large AUM. Look, I think there's a lot. Oof, Bitcoin followed by silver. What's going on with Circle? It's a good time to get into Circle then. I think Bitcoin outperforms over the next 5 years. Now, I think Bitcoin outperforms this year. Their monetary reset is happening though, and gold is definitely tracking it in real time. I don't think that's going away. Oof. This thing looks vulnerable. Looks very vulnerable. Bear flag setting up on support. Could it be the opportunity though? Right? You could go. It looks vulnerable to a breakdown. Imagine taking out the IPO low. However, this could also lead to a breakout to the upside. Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Commodities. A lot of people expecting commodities to have outperformed. A lot of people were expecting stagflation. You go back to January 1st, 2025, and a lot of people, commodities, we're going to see, and commodities is a good call, by the way. We're going to see stagflation and inflation's going down. Remember that my whole thesis was into this year that we're going to continue to see in deflation forces paramount as we look at these low energy prices, as we look at, more importantly, shelter, right? And that's going to continue, and I think it gives false cover as they begin expanding the balance sheet and as they begin running the printer. We're going to see inflation creep up. Obviously, AI tech is deflationary. Yeah, stagflation is really when commodities really begin to really get at it. And I think that as there's trouble ahead, I think that commodities are really going to have their day. Except that I think that this year we're going to go from muddling, and then major year ahead with the midterm elections. A lot of variables at play. There's a lot of. Did you guys see that the U.S. just this morning seized a Russian ghost tanker? It seems like things could escalate, but it seems that they're gonna do. You guys think we're gonna see a GDP print in 2026, 2027 higher than 4%? You guys think we'll see a 5%? Ooh, I like this one. I like this one a lot, Lee. I think that they all have huge upside. I like that a lot. And then tech, right? There you go. And gold, Bitcoin, and tech. That's the way to go. 5% in Q3. This could be so hard though, right? With ahead of the midterms, though. I think that's what you're looking at. Are they gonna try their best to set this thing off? Oh man, the Republicans' fate might depend on it, right? Uh, and Trump's fate might depend on it as well. He could get impeached in 2027. Poly markets right now, they might have some odds about him getting impeached, and you know what happened last time. But it's what are the odds right now of who's winning the midterms? That I would like to see. Um, anyway, y'all. Listen, Vakane, I thought of you right away when I heard the news. But here's the thing. It's supposedly an empty tanker. It's kind of weird for the US to go after an empty tanker. Let's see what the cargo is, and then we'll assess the situation. I think that's fair. Would you think there was a bunch of gold and silver on it? That would be crazy. Now, what could be on there? I don't know, but there's likely something on there. Why would they go after an empty tanker otherwise? And why would an empty tanker change its name? I don't know. Let's find out. That's I thought of you right away though. It's like that's not gonna like that at all. Ooh, all right. I mean, you gotta like buying down at these levels compared to when everyone wanted a piece. There's no question up over here. And, I think that was smart play. I was looking this morning at the possibility of a couple of different things. Let me show you. Let me go back to the whole Ripple thing. The Ripple thing. XRP, I should say. Well, should I say Ripple? Yeah. Hold on one second. Let me try this over there. I'm just looking what we got over here. Hold on one second. You're going to like this. All right. Let's see. FNG. All right. I got a FNGU daily template over here. Let's go down over here, 2026. Woolly mammoth. Palantir knows what's in there. Oh yeah, does anyone know? What is Palantir's PE right now? So I don't think this works on the 1 hour, but hold on one second. Just entertain me for 1 second. All right, we'll just go. What year are we going back to? We're going to come back to when through the bear market of 2022. All right. So obviously this is the daily of FNGU on the 1 hour on these random stocks. Don't expect anything. All right. That's pretty good. What happens if you had a basket of all of them? The drawdown is roughly 50% on each one of them, though. That is the first loser. LMND. Lemonade. Oh, 2. So, anyway, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way to take advantage of this growth portfolio over here. I don't know what's gonna happen with 21. Um, I I I mean, we got Jack Mahler as the face, but we got Cantor Fitzgerald, dealer bank, who's founder and is the Commerce Secretary of the U.S. Inside circle of Donald Trump. You got Tether, who's like the most efficient company on earth, and then you have um, the crazy Japanese guy who what's it called? I forget. But man, he's all in on OpenAI. If OpenAI fails, Matsu-san is going bankrupt. SoftBank. If they fail, he's going bank. He just sold all his Nvidia in order to fund OpenAI. We'll find out if that was a good play or not. The talk this morning is storage, SanDisk. Masa-san. I'm glad you're here. It's great that you're here. Don't trade silver. That is going to be a widowmaker. Don't do it. I think I told you all, but anyway, my worst, not my worst, my best, the missed opportunity of 2025 was I was all over lining up silver right around 50 and looking to take the position on the futures. I guess you got to have some consolation in knowing where to be at the right time, but here we are. Missed it. All right, y'all. I'm working my way back in. Better than yesterday. Tomorrow's going to be better than today. But I just want to make sure here to check in with you and keep going so that we do our best to stay on the right side across markets. 100% in cash is a rare thing. It's an extremely rare thing. Here we are, though. Nordisk. NVO. Whew. And this. That's the second time I heard that today. It's interesting. Wow. That you got to pay attention. You hear something twice in one day, you got to pay attention to that. I don't know. I feel like I would love anyone here has any thoughts to expand on that. Please share it in the comments on the replay. Very interested to hear more about that. I mean, some volatility and selling is expected here in January, but I don't know. You guys think? What do you think silver's trading at 5 years from now? Ace is saying he believes silver is going to outperform. Let me go to the gold to silver ratio here. Yeah, actually, this is where I said would call the bottom, right around this area over here. Here we are, but All right, y'all. I'm gonna come back tomorrow with even more energy. We're making small progress. God bless you all. Have a beautiful day, everyone.